Perennials, for shade, are a game changer for gardeners working with limited sunlight. These hardy plants not only return year after year, but they also bring texture, color, and life to parts of your garden that often go overlooked. In today's video, we're diving deep into the world of shade-loving perennials, plants that thrive in dappled light, deep shade, and everything in between. We'll cover a wide variety of perennials, from lush ground covers and bold foliage plants to delicate flowers that bloom beautifully without full sun. I'll walk you through their light and soil preferences, watering needs, and how to combine them for a balanced, eye-catching garden design. Whether you're planting under trees, along fences, or in shaded corners of your yard, you'll discover practical tips and inspiring ideas to make your shady spaces flourish. Stick around to find the perfect plants that suit your climate, your style, and your garden's unique conditions. Bergenia is one of the most underrated but incredibly versatile shade perennials you can grow. Also known as elephant's ears because of its large, glossy, rounded leaves, Bergenia is a tough, evergreen perennial that brings bold texture and year-round interest to your shade garden. It thrives in partial to full shade and is especially valued for its ability to grow where many flowering plants struggle. In early spring, Bergenia puts on a show with clusters of pink, purple, or white bell-shaped flowers that rise above the foliage on sturdy stems. These blooms not only add color when little else is flowering, but they also attract early pollinators to your garden. Its standout feature is the foliage. Thick, leathery leaves remain lush through most of the year and often develop striking bronze or reddish hues in cooler months, providing winter interest. Bergenia is also low maintenance, resistant to deer, drought-tolerant once established, and adaptable to a range of soils as long as drainage is adequate. Perfect for borders, shady pathways, or as ground cover. Bergenia pairs beautifully with other shade-loving plants like hostas, ferns, and hellebores. It spreads slowly, filling in spaces without becoming invasive. For gardeners seeking a hardy, attractive, and nearly carefree plant for shade, Bergenia is a smart and stylish choice. Ligularia is a bold and dramatic perennial that makes a big impact in shady gardens. Known for its large, architectural foliage and vibrant late summer blooms, this plant is perfect for adding height, color, and texture to those low-light areas. The foliage is one of Ligularia's main attractions. Depending on the variety, the leaves can be heart-shaped, serrated, or deeply lobed, often dark green or even tinged with purple. Some cultivars, like Ligularia dentata Othello, offer rich burgundy undersides that add an extra layer of visual interest. In midsummer to early fall, Ligularia produces tall spikes or clusters, bright yellow to orange daisy-like flowers that rise above the foliage. These blooms are a magnet for bees and butterflies, bringing welcome pollinator activity to your shade garden. Ligularia prefers partial to full shade and consistently moist, rich soil. It's an excellent choice for planting near water features, in boggy garden beds, or in areas with naturally high moisture. However, it will wilt in dry conditions or intense afternoon sun, so make sure to keep the soil evenly damp. Because of its impressive size, often reaching 3 to 5 feet tall and wide, it works well as a background plant in shade borders or as a striking focal point in a woodland garden. Pair it with hostas, astilbes, or Japanese forest grass for a lush, layered look. If you're looking to add drama, height, and bold texture to your shady space, Ligularia is a standout performer that thrives where others won't. Hosta is a classic shade garden favorite, and for good reason. With its wide variety of leaf colors, shapes, and sizes, it offers unmatched versatility and beauty in low-light areas. Whether you're looking to cover large areas or add bold texture to your borders, there's a hosta for every shady spot. The foliage is the star of the show. Hostas come in shades of green, blue, gold, and even variegated combinations with creamy white or yellow edges. Leaf shapes range from heart-shaped and rounded to long and lance-like, creating a rich tapestry of textures when planted in groups. While hostas are known for their foliage, they also produce elegant flower spikes in summer, with lavender or white trumpet-shaped blooms that attract hummingbirds and pollinators. Some varieties are even fragrant, adding an extra sensory element to the garden. Hostas thrive in partial to full shade and prefer rich, well-draining soil with consistent moisture. They're generally low maintenance, but they do appreciate a layer of mulch to retain moisture and keep roots cool. One thing to watch out for is slug damage, especially in damp conditions. You can manage this with organic slug repellents or by planting varieties with thicker, more slug-resistant leaves. Hostas pair beautifully with other shade lovers like ferns, astilbes, pucheras, and hellebores. Use smaller varieties for edging in containers and larger ones as stunning focal points in your garden beds. If you're building a shade garden from scratch or just want dependable, beautiful foliage year after year, hostas are an essential and rewarding choice. Spiderwort, or tradescantia, is a graceful, easy-growing perennial that brings delicate beauty to shady or partially shaded gardens. Known for its long-lasting blooms and grass-like foliage, spiderwort adds a soft, cottage garden feel to beds, borders, and naturalized areas. One of the standout features of spiderwort is its flowers. Each bloom is a 3-petaled jewel in shades of violet, blue, pink, or white, depending on the variety. While individual flowers last only a day, the plant produces dozens of buds that keep it flowering for weeks, typically from late spring into early summer. Its narrow, arching leaves resemble ornamental grasses, creating a gentle, flowing texture in the garden. This foliage remains attractive even after flowering, and in many regions, a mid-season cutback encourages fresh growth and sometimes a second round of blooms. Spiderwort thrives in partial shade but can tolerate full sun in cooler climates as long as it has consistently moist soil. It's remarkably adaptable, growing well in garden beds, woodland edges, or even near water features. It's also a great choice for pollinator gardens, as bees and butterflies love the nectar-rich blooms. This plant is low maintenance and fast-growing, spreading gradually through clumps and self-seeding if left alone. If it gets a bit unruly, simply divide it every few years to keep it tidy and encourage vigorous blooming. For gardeners seeking a dependable, pollinator-friendly perennial that adds softness and seasonal color to shade or part shade areas, spiderwort is a lovely and rewarding choice. Viola is a delightful, low-growing perennial that brings cheerful color and old-fashioned charm to shady garden spots. Often overlooked in favor of flashier plants, violas are incredibly versatile, easy to grow, and bloom prolifically in the cooler parts of the growing season. Best known for their dainty, pansy-like flowers, violas come in a wide range of colors: purples, blues, yellows, whites, and even bicolors, often with charming faces that brighten up borders, containers, and woodland edges. While individual blooms are small, the sheer number of flowers they produce creates a beautiful carpet of color. Violas thrive in partial to full shade and cool, moist, well-drained soil. They're especially valuable in early spring and fall gardens, when temperatures are lower and many other plants are still dormant or fading. In cooler climates, they may even bloom through the summer, especially with regular deadheading. These plants are compact, typically just 6 to 8 inches tall, making them ideal for edging pathways, tucking between stepping stones, or planting beneath taller perennials like hostas and ferns. Violas are also self-seeding, which means they can return year after year in the right conditions, sometimes spreading gently to create a naturalized effect. They're beloved by bees and other early pollinators, and some varieties are even edible, perfect for adding color to salads or desserts. If you're looking for a charming, cold-tolerant perennial to add pops of color to shady beds, woodland gardens, or containers, violas are a timeless, easy-care choice that never go out of style. Astilbe is a show-stopping perennial that brings soft, elegant color and texture to shady areas of the garden. With its feathery plumes and lush, fern-like foliage, Astilbe adds a refined, romantic touch to borders and woodland gardens. The flowers are what make Astilbe truly stand out. Rising above the foliage on upright stems, the blooms resemble soft, fluffy plumes in shades of pink, red, white, and lavender. They typically bloom from late spring through midsummer, depending on the variety, and many remain attractive even as they fade, adding structure and seasonal interest. Astilbe thrives in partial to full shade and prefers consistently moist, rich soil. It's one of the few perennials that tolerates both deep shade and wet conditions, making it an excellent choice for low-light areas that stay damp, such as beside ponds or along shaded paths. The foliage itself is deeply cut and often has a bronze or reddish tint when young, maturing to a rich green. Even when not in bloom, astilbe provides attractive texture and serves as a graceful contrast to bold-leaf plants like hostas or Virginia. Astilbe is low maintenance and deer-resistant, though it does require regular watering in dry periods. To keep your plants thriving, mulch to help retain soil moisture and divide clumps every few years to prevent overcrowding. Whether used in mass plantings as a border accent or mixed with other shade perennials, astilbe adds color, movement, and softness, perfect for turning a shady garden into a vibrant, layered landscape. Lamium, also known as dead nettle, is a fast-growing, shade-loving ground cover that offers both attractive foliage and delicate blooms. It's one of the best low-maintenance options for filling in difficult, low-light areas with texture and color. What makes lamium stand out is its beautiful variegated foliage. Most varieties have silver, green, or cream-splashed leaves that reflect light and brighten up shady spaces. The foliage remains attractive from spring through fall, providing a soft, spreading carpet that stays low to the ground, usually around 6 to 12 inches tall. In spring and early summer, lamium also produces clusters of small, tubular flowers in shades of pink, purple, or white. These blooms may look delicate, but the plant is tough and resilient, and they provide a lovely contrast against the silvery leaves. Lamium thrives in partial to full shade and tolerates a range of soil conditions, as long as the soil is well draining. It's particularly useful in dry shade under trees, where many other plants struggle, though it appreciates occasional watering during hot spells. This perennial spreads by trailing stems that root as they go, making it an ideal ground cover for underplanting shrubs, lining shady pathways, or cascading over walls or container edges. It's also deer-resistant and generally unbothered by pests. For gardeners looking to add a soft, silvery touch to the shade while suppressing weeds and reducing maintenance, lamium is a smart, attractive choice that performs beautifully with very little fuss. Heuchera, commonly known as coral bells, is a standout perennial for shade gardens thanks to its vibrant foliage, compact form, and year-round appeal. Whether you're looking to add color, contrast, or texture to a low-light area, Heuchera offers endless possibilities. What makes Heuchera truly special is its stunning, multicolored foliage. Depending on the variety, you'll find leaves in deep burgundy, lime green, copper, peach, silver, and even nearly black, often with veining or marbling that adds extra interest. These leaves maintain their color throughout the growing season and often remain attractive even in winter in milder climates. In late spring to early summer, Heuchera produces delicate flower spikes that rise above the foliage, bearing tiny bell-shaped blooms in shades of pink, white, or red. While subtle, these blooms attract pollinators like bees and hummingbirds and add an airy, whimsical touch. Heuchera thrives in partial shade and well-drained soil. It can also handle some morning sun, especially in cooler climates, but prefers protection from harsh afternoon rays. Once established, it's fairly drought-tolerant and requires minimal care beyond occasional watering and light mulching. This plant is ideal for borders, container gardens, edging pathways, or mixing with hostas, ferns, and astilbe for a layered, colorful look. It's also deer-resistant and typically not bothered by pests, making it a low-maintenance favorite for both new and experienced gardeners. For rich foliage color and a refined look in the shade, Heuchera is a must-have perennial that brings elegance and variety to any garden setting. Epimedium, often called barrenwort or fairy wings, is a delicate-looking yet surprisingly tough perennial that thrives in dry shade, one of the most challenging garden conditions. With its heart-shaped leaves, airy blooms, and graceful habit, Epimedium brings subtle beauty and reliable performance to woodland and shaded areas. The foliage is one of Epimedium's standout features. New growth often emerges with bronze or red tones in spring, gradually maturing to lush green, sometimes with a soft sheen or marbled texture depending on the variety. In many regions, Epimedium is semi-evergreen or even fully evergreen, offering year-round interest. In early to mid-spring, Epimedium blooms with small, intricate flowers that resemble dancing fairies or spiders, hence the nickname fairy wings. The blossoms appear in shades of yellow, white, pink, lavender, or orange, depending on the cultivar, and they float on wiry stems just above the foliage for a light, whimsical effect. What makes epimedium truly valuable in the shade garden is its tolerance of dry, root-filled soil, making it an excellent choice for planting beneath trees or in tough, neglected corners. It's also deer-resistant, long-lived, and largely pest-free. Epimedium spreads slowly by rhizomes, creating a tidy, clump-forming ground cover over time without becoming invasive. It's perfect for edging shady paths, tucking into rock gardens, or mixing with ferns, hellebores, and hostas for a layered, natural look. If you're searching for a graceful, dependable perennial that can handle dry shade and still deliver beauty in both foliage and flower, epimedium is a hidden gem worth discovering. Ferns are the ultimate foliage plants for shade, offering lush texture, graceful movement, and a timeless woodland feel. With their feathery fronds and elegant arcing shapes, ferns bring a sense of tranquility and softness to any low-light space. There are many types of ferns suitable for shade gardens, from the delicate maidenhair fern and bold ostrich fern to the rugged Japanese painted fern with its silvery tones. Their foliage comes in a wide range of textures, sizes, and shades, from bright green to bluish gray or even burgundy tinted, making it easy to find varieties that complement your planting scheme. Ferns thrive in partial to full shade and prefer cool, moist, well-draining soil rich in organic matter. They're ideal for naturalized woodland gardens, shady borders, or planting under trees and shrubs. Once established, many ferns are surprisingly low maintenance and drought tolerant. While ferns don't produce flowers, their finely divided fronds add beautiful structure and contrast. They pair perfectly with flowering perennials like astilbe, bleeding hearts, and heuchera, creating a serene, layered look in the garden. Another great feature of ferns is their deer and rabbit resistance, and making them a reliable choice in areas with browsing wildlife. Many varieties, like the evergreen Christmas fern, also provide year-round interest in mild climates. For gardeners looking to add texture, movement, and natural beauty to shaded spaces, ferns are a must-have. Their timeless appeal and ease of care make them a staple in shade gardening for beginners and experts alike. Hellebores, often called Lenten roses, are shade garden superstars that bloom when little else dares to, often in late winter or very early spring. These tough yet graceful perennials bring color, structure, and a touch of magic to the garden just as winter starts to fade. Their blooms are truly special. Nodding, rose-like flowers in shades of white, pink, purple, burgundy, green, and even near black appear well before most other plants awaken. Many varieties feature speckles, double petals, or contrasting centers that make them even more eye-catching. What makes hellebores a favorite among gardeners is their evergreen foliage. The leathery, deeply lobed leaves stay attractive throughout the year, providing a bold backdrop for other shade plants. In winter, a quick cleanup of old leaves allows the flowers to shine as they emerge. Hellebores thrive in partial to full shade and prefer well-drained, humus-rich soil. They're very drought-tolerant once established and perform well under deciduous trees or in woodland borders, where they get some winter light and summer shade. These plants are also deer and rabbit resistant, long-lived, and low maintenance, making them ideal for gardeners who want reliable beauty with minimal effort. While they grow slowly, they form clumps over time and can even self-seed gently in the right conditions. If you're looking to add early season color, year-round greenery, and subtle elegance to your shade garden, hellebores are an outstanding investment that only get better with time. Foamflower, or tiarella, is a delicate woodland perennial that brings soft texture, sparkling spring blooms, and unique foliage to shady garden spaces. Native to North America, it's an excellent choice for naturalized areas, shaded borders, and pollinator-friendly plantings. In spring, foamflower lives up to its name with airy spikes of tiny, star-like flowers in shades of white or soft pink. These blooms rise above the foliage on slender stems, creating a light, foamy appearance that dances in the breeze and attracts early pollinators like bees and butterflies. But the real year-round appeal comes from the foliage. Foamflower has deeply lobed, maple-like leaves, often with striking burgundy or dark purple veining, that form a dense, low-growing clump. In cooler climates, The foliage can take on bronze or red tones in fall and may stay evergreen through winter. Foamflower thrives in partial to full shade and moist, well-draining, humus-rich soil. It's ideal for woodland gardens, shady slopes, and as a ground cover under trees or shrubs. It also pairs beautifully with hostas, ferns, heuchera, and other shade-loving perennials. This plant spreads slowly by runners, forming tidy mats without becoming aggressive. It's deer-resistant, low-maintenance, and perfect for gardeners looking to add a native, pollinator-friendly plant with a gentle, romantic feel. For a soft, sparkling presence in your shade garden, one that offers both flower and foliage interest, Foamflower is a beautiful and dependable choice. Bleeding Heart or Dicentra is one of the most romantic and iconic perennials you can add to a shade garden. Known for its graceful, arcing stems and heart-shaped blooms, this plant brings a soft, nostalgic charm to spring gardens. In mid to late spring, Bleeding Heart produces strings of pink or white heart-shaped flowers that appear to drip from arching stems, giving the plant its common name. Each bloom features a distinct teardrop tip, and together they create a look that's both whimsical and elegant. Its foliage is equally attractive, finely divided and fern-like, often with a soft blue-green hue. The leaves create a lacy, textured mound that complements other bold or broad-leaved shade plants like hostas or hellebores. Bleeding Heart thrives in partial to full shade and rich, consistently moist soil. It prefers cooler temperatures, and in warmer climates it may go dormant in summer, disappearing entirely until the following spring. Pairing it with summer interest plants ensures the garden stays full even after it fades. There are several varieties to choose from, including the traditional Dicentra spectabilis, the more compact and long-blooming Dicentra luxuriant, and the white-flowering alba. All add delicate beauty to woodland borders, shady beds, and even containers. This plant is deer-resistant and relatively low maintenance, though it appreciates mulch to keep the roots cool and moist. Once planted, it returns reliably each year with little fuss. For graceful spring blooms and timeless appeal in the shade, Bleeding Heart is a must-have that never fails to captivate. Lungwort, or Pulmonaria, is a standout shade perennial prized for its stunning foliage and early spring blooms. It's one of the first plants to flower in the season, bringing color and life to shady beds just as winter fades. What makes Lungwort truly eye-catching is its silvery, speckled foliage. The leaves are often green with bright silver spots, or even fully silver in some varieties, adding brightness and texture to dark, shady areas. The foliage forms a dense, attractive mound that stays looking fresh well into the growing season. In early spring, Lungwort produces clusters of funnel-shaped flowers in shades of pink, blue, or violet, often changing color as they mature. It's not uncommon to see pink and blue flowers blooming on the same plant at the same time, creating a charming, multicolored effect. Lungwort thrives in partial to full shade and moist, well-drained soil rich in organic matter. It prefers cooler conditions and may suffer in full sun or during periods of drought, so regular watering and mulching are important for best performance. This plant is also deer and rabbit resistant, attracts early pollinators, and is low maintenance overall. Once established, it can handle dry shade better than many other plants, making it a great choice under trees or along shaded paths. Whether you're looking for foliage interest, early season blooms, or a dependable ground cover for shade, Lungwort is a hardy, beautiful addition that brightens any dark corner of the garden. Foxglove, or digitalis, is a tall and dramatic perennial that brings vertical interest and old-world charm to shaded gardens. With its towering spires of tubular blooms, foxglove is a true showstopper in late spring to early summer. Each flower spike is densely packed with bell-shaped blossoms that hang down in elegant rows, often speckled inside and available in a range of soft hues: pinks, purples, whites, creams, and yellows. These blooms are magnets for bees, especially long-tongued species, and help support pollinator activity early in the season. Foxglove prefers partial shade, especially in warmer climates, and grows best in rich, well-drained soil. It's an excellent choice for woodland edges, shaded borders, or planting beneath high canopy trees where it can get dappled sunlight. While many foxgloves are biennials, growing foliage the first year and blooming the second, Some perennial varieties like Digitalis grandiflora or Digitalis mertenensis will return year after year. Even biennial types often self-seed readily, ensuring future seasons of bloom without replanting. This plant's tall stature, often reaching 3 to 5 feet, makes it perfect for the back of shaded borders or for creating dramatic layers. It pairs beautifully with ferns, hostas, and astilbes, softening vertical lines with more flowing mounded foliage. Keep in mind, all parts of the foxglove plant are toxic if ingested, so it's best planted away from pets and small children. However, this also means it's rarely touched by deer or rabbits. For an elegant, vertical accent in your shade garden with loads of pollinator appeal, foxglove offers height, drama, and natural beauty. Would you like me to assemble all your plant segments into a complete YouTube script with intro, transitions, and outro? Caladium is a stunning foliage plant known for its vibrant, heart-shaped leaves that light up shady areas with dramatic color and pattern. Whether planted in the ground or grown in containers, caladiums offer a tropical flair and unmatched visual interest. What sets caladium apart is its foliage. The large, papery-thin leaves come in brilliant combinations of red, pink, white, green, and even deep burgundy, often accented with veins, speckles, or contrasting margins. With so many varieties available, you can find caladiums to match nearly any garden style. Caladiums thrive in partial to full shade and prefer warm, humid conditions with rich, well-drained soil. They grow from tubers planted in spring once soil temperatures are warm, typically after all danger of frost has passed. While they love moisture, they don't like soggy conditions, so good drainage is essential. This plant works beautifully in shade gardens, borders, under trees, or as a centerpiece in container arrangements. It pairs well with ferns, hostas, and impatiens, and provides continuous color through the summer without needing blooms. In cooler climates, caladium is often grown as an annual, but the tubers can be lifted in fall and stored indoors over winter for replanting the next season. In warmer zones, it can be treated as a perennial with minimal care. Caladium is also deer-resistant and relatively pest-free, making it a low-fuss, high-impact plant for both beginners and experienced gardeners alike. For bold color, unique texture, and a tropical feel in the shade, caladium is a fantastic way to make your garden pop. Would you like help craft? That wraps up our list of the best perennial plants for shade. From vibrant foliage to delicate blooms, these plants prove that shady spots can be just as beautiful and full of life as any sunny garden bed. Whether you're creating a peaceful woodland retreat or adding color under trees, there's a shade-loving perennial on this list for every garden style and skill level. If you found this video helpful, be sure to give it a like, subscribe for more gardening tips, and tap the notification bell so you don't miss future videos. Have a favorite shade plant we didn't mention? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear what's thriving in your garden. Thanks for watching, and until next time, happy gardening.